Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Life After Paralysis. I am Tiffany Carlson. This is the official podcast for Spinalpedia. And today we have a brand new show for September. We're joined by Rosemarie Rossetti, PhD from Ohio, I believe. But I've written about Rosemarie in the past, but I'm really glad to chat with her on the show. So with that, welcome. How are you, Rosemarie?
I'm just fine. Thanks for the privilege of being on your show.
Oh, it's a small little podcast, like a million of them on the internet, but we're trying to, do a slice of spinal cord injuries and show what it's capable of, when you're paralyzed and all the possibilities that you can still achieve. And I think that you're a great example of that. And you've been paralyzed for a long time, just like me. So I think this is going to be a really, really good chat. So thank you for joining us today. So like I said at the start, I know you live in Ohio, right?
I'm in Columbus, the
Shit.
capital city.
I got it wrong. I for some reason, you know why I thought that? The house that we'll talk about later, maybe that's why I thought that. But yeah. So where are you originally from then?
Columbus is my home.
Columbus is your home. So born and raised, you never left?
Well, I left for 3 years to a small town just north of here,
Okay.
Delaware, Ohio. It's only about
Okay.
an hour away. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
teaching at a career center. I have a degree in agriculture education and horticulture. So when I
Cool.
graduated with my bachelor's degree, that was my first job out of college to teach
Wow.
horticulture at the career center. But then I came back and finished my master's and doctorate at the Ohio State University. So back to Columbus again.
Yeah, Columbus, Ohio. I think I've been to Cleveland, but for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But Columbus is a pretty big city though, isn't it?
It's huge.
It's
It's
huge.
it's got so much to offer.
That's so cool. So I know you've been injured for many decades, and I'll let you tell your injury story. I know it was in the 90s, right?
Yes, it was June 13th, 1998. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Mhm.
It happened to be a beautiful Saturday. It was
Okay.
no rain or storm or threat of anything. And
Mhm.
my husband and I were celebrating our third wedding anniversary and
Oh.
decided to go for a bicycle ride on one of those rails to trails you probably are familiar with.
Yeah, those are awesome. What a great use of space.
Yes.
Hmm.
So we were riding for a while, and all of a sudden, Mark heard what he thought was a gunshot. And he slowed down to look around, but it wasn't a gunshot. It was the snap of a 80-foot tall tree. And it was halfway to the ground when he saw it. And he yelled at me, "Look over there, something's falling, stop."
Oh my
But there
gosh.
was nothing I could do. He fortunately jumped off his bike in time.
Oh,
For me, I got hit by the tree, 7,000 pounds,
wow.
followed by live power lines.
Wow. That must have, do you remember the accident?
I remember waking up. I was unconscious,
Okay.
and Mark was there, and another couple were there. And
Okay.
I said, "What happened?" And then I can't feel my legs.
Wow. It's so sudden how paralysis happens that way. I know with so many, it seems a lot of people, not a lot, but there's quite a number of people I've met that had a branch or a tree fall on them. It's such a random kind of accident when you think about a tree just timing it perfectly to hit you. Do you have a belief that things happen for a reason, or you just think you were there at the wrong time?
Just the wrong time. It
Yeah.
was an interesting discovery. The tree had been rotted on the inside,
Ooh.
and so it was compromised and it was pruned by the utility company because of the electric lines. And, we believe that it was pruned and top heavy on one side.
Oh
And
my gosh.
because of the top heaviness and the rot, it just fell. It's like it could have just been a bird that landed on it. It was in full leaf.
Wow. Did you want to carry out any legal action because of your accident?
Yeah, we did. We hired two law firms and went all the way to the Ohio Supreme Court, and we lost the battle.
Oh my gosh. Terrible. Ah, that's terrible. Well, when you're paralyzed and stuff and you do think about finances and how you're going to be able to pay for everything, and I'm sure that was part of it for you, but that's difficult. So since you were working before, I know that you were a teacher. So what happened when you were injured? Did you go right back into teaching and that kind of thing?
Well, I had left Ohio State University on the faculty. I was there 11 years.
Okay.
And in January of 1997 is when I left to
Okay.
start Rossetti Enterprises, my
Wow.
and training. So it was
Okay.
only a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I had disability income insurance, and
Good.
that was a benefit from me. By working at the university, that was a benefit that lasted 2 years.
Okay.
So that kicked in, and that was a source of income.
Yeah.
Every month, I would get a check for my disability insurance.
That's great. Wow. So, did you continue with your enterprises after your accident, or what was your
It was a while. It was a long while. I was
yeah.
in intensive care. Then I was at the rehab center at
Okay.
Ohio State
Oh,
University for the
good.
summer of '98. And then for 2 years, 3 days a week as an outpatient. So
Wow,
it
you went
wasn't
that
much,
often.
it wasn't much income to earn at
Yeah.
that point.
That's so great. Was that your decision to go to do physical therapy for that long? Because I know a lot of times they'll tell people just to go home and stop doing it, you know?
Oh no, I needed it. I needed to be able to dress, to be
Mhm.
able to use a wheelchair. There was so much I needed. I was in bad shape.
Yeah.
And
How
my
are you able to
insurance,
they
fortunately,
paid for
my
it?
health insurance covered it. So when we
Wow.
looked at my health insurance, it was going to cover it for 3 days a week, all day,
That's so
for
good.
2 years. So of course, the
That's amazing.
doctors are telling you if you want to recover, you've got to work on it.
That's great. You had a really good situation. For a lot of people, they get sent home after a couple of months because if you're on Medicaid, they're not going to pay for that long. So that was awesome. Did you find that since you were able to do 2 years of PT, did you get a lot more like recovery back and that kind of thing, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I had PT and OT. So, going 3 days a week, it was a big progression to be able to dress myself, to be
Yeah.
able to learn how to navigate in
Mhm.
my wheelchair
Which is
and
hard.
to
It,
walk for the first time, to have a walker to see
yeah.
if I could walk again.
Yeah. What level of injury are you then?
I'm a T12L1
Okay.
incomplete spinal
Okay.
cord injury.
So that means you're pretty independent then, right? You're able to get to a point where you don't need any caregiving assistance to do your cares and that kind of thing.
Right. My husband is here. And of course, there are things that I can't do
Oh, of
and
course.
he can do, or things that I don't want to do and he does. So, but in terms of bathing and
Yeah.
cooking and dressing and driving, and I have a
Oh,
three-wheeled recumbent bike, all
cool.
those are independent
That's
things that I can do.
that's great. I knew a guy with a T12 injury and he could sit right up from his bed without because he had all the abs and I'm like jealous.
Mhm.
But I know it's all perspective. But yeah, L1 means you have some leg movement, right?
Yes, I do have leg movement,
Hmm.
and I have a rollator walker here
Oh,
that I
nice.
can walk just in the house.
Okay.
Not very well, but I
Not very
can.
well.
And I
Yeah,
can pedal my bike with my legs, so I've got enough strength
oh,
in my
cool.
quads. My ankles and toes are paralyzed,
Hmm.
but my quads are pretty strong.
That's interesting. Yeah, that L1 T12 injuries, that's how you end up a lot of times. So did you ever feel like you could walk a daily? Was it just too difficult since you would have to wear braces and use a walker and that kind of thing?
I can't do that. No.
No. Yeah, I think that it seems like a kind of a slow way to move around the world as well when, I'm used to my power chair, so I'm just zooming. So do you ever walk at home, like you said, just for exercise though?
A little bit. Yeah.
Hmm.
When the weather's nice, I sometimes can go out into the patio and into the landscape,
That's
but
awesome.
it's hard. My shoulders, I don't want to
Yeah.
overextend them because they're holding me up.
Yep. And that's an important lesson for all people out there who have spinal cord injuries is take care of your shoulders, right? So
Hmm.
critical. So, let's talk about, your writing. And I know that you were a writer before your injury, and you have a book that's called Take Back Your Life. So, can you tell us a little bit about that and how that came to be?
That book is a collection of articles that I started writing when I came home from the original hospital stay.
Okay.
I started recording my life in the hospital on a little mini recorder every day.
That's
I would just, like a diary. It was an audio diary. Every day I would tell myself what I was going through, what I was thinking, uh, what was going on in that day and that process. And then I started writing articles for a local newspaper. They wanted one every month. It was an
Cool.
inspirational column, and it was mostly read by women. And so that gave me a sense of I better listen to those little recordings
Yeah,
and then continue to think about it every day. What could I write about next month?
nice.
And so I would write articles month after month. And then someone said, well, why don't you write a book? So that's what I did. I had a group of people reading all the articles and selecting what they thought were the most resonating with an audience that didn't repeat themselves. So we selected 20.
Awesome.
20 then created the book Take Back Your Life.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a little book. I mean, that's it. It's pretty
Yeah, yeah,
thin.
yeah. So they
It's
can probably
self-published and just a collection of my articles. It is 2003. I mean, that thing's been out there a while.
Well, it's still something to touch on because it's about your past and I think it's really good to journal. I think when you're newly injured, journaling is really, 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 really important. So I think that's great. So if someone wants to check out Take Back Your Life, is it on your website?
It's on Amazon if anybody wants
Oh,
to
that's
take
great.
it. It
Okay.
starts on the bike trail at the accident, of course.
Okay.
That's the first one. And it's
Mhm.
about adversity. It's about lessons to live by, which I have five. And
Yeah.
then it ends on the bike trail 2 years after the accident. That was our anniversary. I
Oh,
had the new bike at that time. And so we rode the trail on the second anniversary. And
wow.
that's where the book ends, back at that same trail.
Can I ask what it's like for a lot of people go back to their injury location after a year or two or more even. What did you feel when you were back at that, if
Well, the
anything?
first experience was on the freeway. I had a business appointment and I knew I was going to be near that bike trail. And so I just parked the car at the entrance and just sat there and cried.
Yeah.
So that was the first experience is getting off the freeway,
Oh,
sitting in my van and crying, saying,
yeah.
this is where it all started.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then going back with Mark 2 years later on my new bike, it's like that was my goal to have a bike and be able to get on this trail and then to see the actual spot, to see where the power lines had been repaired and to see the fallen tree. Some of it was still there.
Wow. Wow. That must have been weird. Did you feel a sense of like I survived this and I'm kind of like a badass, or how did you feel in that moment?
Yeah, I just felt life goes on, and
Hmm.
I realized the intensity of the rescue when Mark would show me how far it was for the people that rescued me and put me in the stretcher, took me on the bike trail in their car, took me to the soccer field where a nearby helicopter was waiting,
Wow.
putting all that together because I
Yeah.
had no idea
Yeah.
the rescue effort with the people that came with the 911 call. They came right to me with chainsaws trying to help relieve the tree. But Mark
Crazy.
was saying, we've got her out from under that big tree. We pulled her out. Do not turn your chainsaws on. We don't need to cut the tree
Oh my God.
laying here and she's awake. So they put a neck brace on me and put me in the stretcher and put me in one of the volunteers in the fire department came with her car and put me in the back of her car on the bike trail because
Wow.
no other vehicle could travel on that bike trail.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, those bike trails get real narrow. There's no way, yeah, they could get an ambulance down there, anything.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that woman sounds amazing. It's
Yes.
it's, it's so interesting thinking back on your injury story, but it's been like for you, 25, 26, 27, almost 27 years for you.
Yeah. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. So let's talk about your speaking. I know you mentioned you had these like five, you said. I want to talk about that because I think one of the most awesome things that you've done is you're really a great motivational speaker from what I can see on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Thank you.
So why don't you share a little bit about your speaking and how that came to be and what you generally talk about?
Well, the five lessons that I live by, the first is do something new every day. And that I learned in my physical and occupational therapy. every time I would show up, that's what I would say to them. What am I going to do new today? I want some new progress.
Yeah.
It can be a little thing, like I was able to put my socks on today,
Yeah.
or yesterday I couldn't, but now I can.
This
So
sounds small, but it's huge.
it
Hmm.
was huge to be able
Hmm.
to then put my shoe and sock on and then put a shirt on. It's just little things that I would ask them through physical and occupational therapy. What are we going to do new in the swimming pool
Yep.
as we were doing water therapy? What are we going to do on land? How are you going to teach me something else for my life skills? So, doing something new every day. The next is focusing on a hopeful future, not on your self-pity. And
Okay.
I learned that from Christopher Reeve.
Mm.
Coincidentally, he was speaking in Columbus a year before my injury.
Wow.
So I had a picture of him on stage, and that was his lesson on stage.
Wow.
So the picture of him was in my hospital room to remind me, just don't think about all the things that I can't do.
Yeah.
Think about a hopeful future.
It's
So
wonderful.
that was the second one. The next is the believe the impossible just might be possible. And that's when I started realizing that life does go on. And I was starting to get use of my legs. I was starting to move them. I was starting to feed myself. I was starting to roll around in the wheelchair and open a door and go in a building. And it's like,
Mhm.
never thought that was possible.
Yep.
And all
Yep.
the sports activities and dancing in a wheelchair, just all the things that happened. It's like never would have thought that would have happened.
That's that's great. I love it. I know I've encountered the same thing throughout my life with paralysis too. I think you go from thinking, oh, geez, life in a wheelchair to going, well, I was definitely wrong about that because I think we have these able-bodied, closed-minded minds on wheelchair life, unless you knew someone before your injury, right?
Hmm.
I know.
Sure.
Yeah.
So those are the first three. I could go on. There's five, or we can go.
Let's hear the rest. Yeah.
The fourth one was about having more patience with yourself, understanding that it's just the way it is for now. Things will change. And as I started learning how to do laundry again, it was just so difficult. It took so long when you have a washer that loads from the top. And
Yeah.
it's like I can't reach things. I have to use a reacher now to get things in and out of there.
I hate that too.
More patience and more time to do things. It's just patience.
Yep.
This is how it is for now. It may change. And then the last one I learned from my husband, and that's lower your stress by lowering your expectations of other people.
Hmm.
As I came home, there was so much I couldn't do, and I kept a to-do list for my husband. And he'd get home from work and see this extravagant list of things that he had to do sometimes that night,
Oh.
like I got a prescription, go to the drugstore, we're out of milk.
Yep.
There's a chicken in the oven. It's going to need to come out in about a half hour. The dishwasher needs to be emptied. Load of clothes in the washer that's got to be put in the dryer because I had a caregiver at first
Yeah.
that worked with me
Mhm.
because I was not independent at home. So he would get home and she would leave. And and so I had to lower my expectations of him. There's no way he could get all that done.
That's a lot to ask out of one person. I have that lesson with my husband too. You don't want to overwhelm them.
Yeah. So
Oh.
he would take that list and he would go upstairs to his office and he would tear it in half and he would put half of it in his shredder. And then later I learned this. I didn't know it right away. And I said, "You
Mhm.
really did that?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "Because I knew if it was important, it would be on the list tomorrow."
You got a good husband there. He's funny. I think
Yeah.
he was good at managing stress as well from his perspective. He did a good job. That was awesome. So, can you share how you got into universal design? I know this is a central part of your life. I don't know if it still is, but you're kind of an expert in it. And how did that even come to be for you?
Well, coming home in a wheelchair was the obvious reason.
Right?
There was no entrance for wheelchair accessibility, and
Yeah.
we had neighbors and relatives that built a temporary wooden ramp that was like the luge in the Winter Olympics. I mean, there was no way that was independent, but
Yeah.
that's the only way I could get in. Somebody had to push me in and push me out
Okay.
until later. Vocational rehab did put in a porch lift so I could get in the front door.
Nice.
So, with that, you look at your house and you go, this is not going to work.
Hmm.
This is not independent at all. I couldn't even roll on the carpet.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to take doors off. Showering was really difficult. So, what are we going to do? We're going to have to find a house.
Hmm.
We can't remodel this one or build one.
Yeah.
And it was a long process to finalize what are we going to do? We're going to hire an architect. We're going to design a house for us.
Hmm.
And then it turned into a national model where a group of mastermind members in 2005
Yep.
gave Mark and I the idea, why don't you design a home for you and Mark and share it with other people and get sponsors, get big companies to provide you the services and the products to help you,
Yeah.
and open it to the public. And then you speak about it, you write about it. This becomes a new section of your business.
Wow.
And
Great
that was a
idea.
big idea back in
Yeah.
January of 2005.
Yeah, it was.
Just to
Yeah.
say, what?
20 years ago, I don't think universal design was just a tiny bit out there, wasn't it? It wasn't really even well known at all, right? I'm
Well, I
guessing.
had I had read about it in a magazine. That
Yeah.
was the first time I had seen a picture of a woman in a wheelchair in a kitchen. And, and then I thought, wow, that's nice. And then
Yeah, yeah,
I happened to go to the International Builders Show that same year in 2005. And there were a lot of speakers and a lot of designers and architects, interior designers that
yeah.
had programs on universal design. And so at that point, I latched onto it and I said, it is a concept. We
Yeah.
could do this. And then we started getting sponsors. And we ended up with over 200 of them.
That's amazing. How did you find the sponsors when you're reaching out and sharing your story about what you're up to?
Yeah, we go to the International Builders Show 2 years in a row. We'd
Cool.
meet with the people at their booths. We had interior designers that would introduce us to people, and we had a marketing strategist that really was the key to helping us understand how to get sponsors and introducing us and coming up with the legal contracts
Okay.
so that we wouldn't have a difficulty with our taxes because these are all donated products and
Wow.
services.
Yeah,
So we
that
had
gets a little.
lawyers, we had architects, we have interior designers. It was a 10-year project.
I mean, that's a long time. Wow. So you finally finished it after 10 years, is what you're saying.
Well, we broke ground in 2009, moved in 2012. That was a 32-month construction, and we were the
Wow.
general contractors and builders.
Wow.
So we had a lot of work to do. But the planning stage started in 2004 with the architect, but the groundbreaking wasn't until 2009.
That's 5 years later. Wow.
Trying to get the construction loan during 2008
Yeah,
in the recession,
it's horrible.
that really delayed us trying to get some bank to give us the loan to start this thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm so glad you finally did, and then you finally moved in 2012. And can I just ask, like, square footage and how many bedrooms, that kind of thing?
It's about 3,500 square feet on one main floor for living. It's the
Okay.
equivalent of a four-bedroom home. However, two of them are designated as my office and Mark's office.
Nice.
The lower level is also finished. We have a classroom and a full bathroom with a roll-in shower and
Mm.
two exercise rooms, and then all the heating and air conditioning and storage. So it's a big home, but we use it because, like this weekend, we have an intensive business development program all weekend that someone else is delivering.
Okay.
And then we have tours here. we're using it. It's an acre and a half, and it's a
Wow.
big house, but we really do use it. And we've had 3,600 people in person touring the house. And who knows how many thousands or hundreds of thousands have seen the virtual tour, which
Ah,
is still on our website. So anyone can tour our home. Just go to udll.com and click on virtual tour. Um, and take your computer mouse and go through the house.
so cool.
You can
Yeah.
play a little game while you're watching it. Our cat Kiko was the photo bomber, so she's a little orange cat that you'll see throughout the house. She was just there with the photographer.
What are some of the features that you've added to the home that you think you get more the most comments on from people that they love, or is there anything?
The
Yeah.
roll-in shower, of course, is superb. Having a 4x7 shower with the ability to transfer onto the seat, and
It's nice.
it's just
Yeah.
spacious, and it's got all glass block. So
Mm,
we've got all the natural light,
the
and at
light.
night we've got the overhead lights. It's got grab bars, and of course the handheld shower nozzle is there. It's got heated floors, heated towel bars.
Amazing.
It's
Amazing.
an amazing spa
Mhm.
experience.
Do you have, is the, I think I remember, I saw this video a while back, but it's a lot of wood, a lot of like light and wood in the home, right?
Yeah, there's about four species of wood. You're looking right now at my office, and so we have hickory hardwood flooring.
Pretty.
We have poplar doors on the door behind me. So this is my office.
That must just be so nice to live in a home so accessible. Is there anything more you would like to add, or are you happy with it as is?
Oh, we're very happy. We're just maintaining it now. It's been 13 years. So every time Mark hears another motor that's cranking wrong, he's like, what is it today that's going to need some attention and maintenance?
That's a
And
home for
the
you.
landscape continues to grow and the weeds continue to populate. So
Yeah.
we got some pruning and weeding constantly.
Do you have a garden in the back, an accessible
Oh, yeah.
garden?
Yes, we do.
I bet that's fun to keep up too.
Yes. Mark does most of the gardening. I do have a lawnmower that is hand controlled, so I can do the mowing
Nice.
and he can do all the other things.
That's awesome. Really. That's so cool. You get to do God, you're involved. So I know that you said you would do some cycling with your legs since you can move them a little bit. But have you done any other adaptive sports since your injury or any other kind of recreational activities that have been influential in your life?
Absolutely. Biking and kayaking are the key ones.
Okay,
We
kayaking.
have a two-seat tandem kayak and we're out about every weekend when the weather's nice. Uh,
Cool.
Mark designed a special trailer so that we can put the kayak on and the two recumbent bicycles, the three-wheel recumbents,
Yeah.
plus a big box for all of our luggage. So July 4th week, we went up to Traverse City, Michigan, and everything was on the trailer. He has a big Telluride Kia
Oh,
SUV, and we could go anywhere in this country with that.
so
And
cool. Mhm.
it is great. And then I swim at the YMCA, and
Okay.
I have a whole circuit of things that I can do there with equipment. Some was adapted for people with spinal cord injuries, and others I just figured it out by
Yeah.
having a trainer work with me and show me some things.
I think that's awesome. You're stay active. Do you mind sharing your age? I know I don't want to hourly ask, but I kind of am
No, I'm
curious.
72, so
And so that is amazing. So I think it's you have a lot to share about how to stay healthy and active as well, right? Because that's so key when you're paralyzed. I think a lot of people kind of forget that. It's really, really important. And I think you're showing that it's succeeding. Because look at you're doing really good health-wise, it looks like.
yes, very well.
I love it.
And there's things that are medicated to help, of
Hmm.
course. So
Hmm.
there are doctors that I want to hug
Yeah.
because they found ways to get rid of the symptoms and get
Okay.
rid of the pain,
Yep, the
and
pain.
it's going
Yeah.
to continue as I get older. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to do 30 minutes of exercise every day.
Yes,
So we're
30
going
minutes.
out after dinner now every night and making sure that biking is a priority as long as the weather holds and we have no other commitments. It's not dark here till a little after 8 o'clock. So we have time to write after our meals at night.
I love it. You guys are great. You and your husband's Mark, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, you guys are doing awesome. Me and my husband are in our 40s, and I would say you're more active than we are. So I'm like, oh my God, I need to work better at being more active. You're really inspiring me right now.
Well, you do what you can with what you have,
Yeah.
and you have to be disciplined. There's certain exercises I need to do 3 times a day to strengthen my legs and avoid leg spasms.
Yep. Yep.
Also, the shoulder, I don't want to have a rotator cuff shoulder injury and
Yep.
surgery because that would be a long time
Yep.
uh, of recovery. So I do what I can with some exercises every day. And
Yeah.
then Mark does some things too. He's great at night. And we have a whole bedtime routine of massage and stretching
Wow.
so that I'll sleep better and he'll sleep better at night.
That is amazing. You guys sound like a really happy couple too. So I'm kind of like, you guys are awesome.
30 years of marriage.
Wow, 30 years,
Yeah.
and you beat the statistics. So many regarding marriage and paralysis. You always hear that horrible statistic that marriages rarely last, but you guys are doing really good, it sounds like. So that's really good.
He's a great guy. He's somebody, if I could clone him, I would. He really is.
So I know you don't have any kids, right?
No, just a
No,
cat.
just a kitty cat. That's so cool. So before we let you go, because I know we're about to run out of time here, I just wanted to ask if anyone out there is listening and they want to get in touch with you, you already mentioned your website, but is there any other way you would prefer for people to reach out?
Well, sure. Go to both websites. The one is udll.com
Okay.
and the other is rosemariespeaks.com. Email Rosemarie at rosemariespeaks.com. It would be the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Awesome. Yeah, and you're still active working, right? You're not like doing part-time or anything like that since.
Oh, no. Business is booming. I just can hardly keep up. There's
That's
so
great.
many things that come my way that are unexpected, where my knowledge of universal design, not only in homes, is now being applied to parks, being applied to
Yeah.
zoos, museums,
Yep. It's huge right now.
meeting
It's
and events, hospitality, convention centers,
wow.
uh, weddings. It's like there's so many people have reached out to me to help them that I
Wow.
never would have expected that. Yes, I guess it does apply to
Yeah.
all of the built environments. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's been wonderful speaking with you. I love
Thank
catching
you.
up. I know a few years ago I wrote a profile about you for Spinalpedia, but it's great to chat with you again and to see that you're doing so well. So thank you so much, Rosemary.
Thanks,
And
Tiffany.
we'll be chatting with you hopefully sometime in the future.
Yes, and if you're ever in Columbus, come on over.
You know it. It's on my bucket list. I haven't been to Ohio in many years, but maybe if I go back, I'll check it out.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Yeah, have a good day. Yeah,
You too.
bye.